Delaware Expressway and east of Broad Street, we find ourselves at Lincoln Financial Field in South Philly. Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Levis going to the air right away. And incomplete to open things up.
We'll have to see what kind of looks this defense is going to throw at them as this game moves along, but they're in a zone to start. I do think we'll see plenty of man coverage as we move along, but the first throw of this one, incomplete.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. The first carry now for Tony Pollard. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Sometimes in the run game, you can make the argument that quickness beats size. And how about the example right here?
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Levis looking to throw. He throws it on the move but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
So on now is Johnny Hecker to punt this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. Hurts sets up to throw it. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Here's Hurts to throw. That's complete to the former Titan Pro Bowler, A.J. Brown. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
Throwing is Hurts. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. They got to get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They'll run for the first time with Saquon Barkley. And he's up over midfield and down into Tennessee territory. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Hurts. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. So they decline the holding penalty and will take the down instead as that leads us to 4th. They'll set up a throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. So they convert on 4th, and now from just outside the 30, here's 1st and 10. All the option left, it's Hurts. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. This short throw caught by Goddard, and he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. So just 3 yards on the completion there, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a 1st down.
The kick by Elliott is good. And the Eagles, they take a 3-0 lead. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this was all about letting the offense just get settled in.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away.
On the return, here's Tyjae Spears. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
The Titans coming back onto the field for their 2nd drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Yeah, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Brought down that time by Nolan Smith.
It may be only a gain of 3 yards, but that back, he deserves a lot more credit on the play. That could have easily been stopped at the line, but his vision and his determination found some space to turn it into that modest gain.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation.
Levis to throw it.
Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That's a 1st down pickup for Tennessee on a gain of 10.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Levis back to throw. Again to Calvin Ridley, and he's got it once more.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going, and right now it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
Here's Levis.
And it's complete right back to Ridley. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit because at this point, it can't be a surprise to anyone in the building who's going to get the ball. They just keep feeding him over and over, and he just keeps on delivering.
Again, it's Levis looking to throw it. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now.
Now Levis.
And it's caught. A touchdown-saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Spears.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down, 3 yards in the wrong direction.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Sly able to put this one through.
And that will tie us at 3-3.
So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away.
And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34.
So back onto the field here come the Eagles for their 2nd drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Defensively going forward, they're going to have to watch out for him on plays just like that. It's a drag route across the field, and they're trying to free him up and let him run after the catch. That won't be the last time we see that play, and it works there to pick up a 1st down.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
He'll get this out to Barkley, complete.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
Philadelphia picking up the 1st on a gain of 15.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
From the gun, it's Hurts.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
But one of the things we talked about coming into this one is that we were never going to question the fight that he's going to have for all 4 quarters of a game. But ideally, you want him fighting for big plays and 1st downs early, not fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage, as we saw right there.
Throwing again on 2nd down.
Hurts.
This short throw caught by Goddard. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 29-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down.
Throw right side complete to Dotson.
Nothing at all on that one. It'll be 2nd down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
To throw again on second down. Hurts. The throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
So Hurts is off, and on comes Jake Elliott for the Eagle field goal.
Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. The kick by Elliott is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So we're trading first half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
So all field goals so far, 6-3 our score as the kick is away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Levis. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. And the tight end goes in motion left.
Levis from the gun.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
A give to Barkley out of the gun.
And he'll get about 3 up past the 25.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. 6-3 is our score after 1. It's the NFL on EA Sports. Now second quarter action from Philadelphia, and it's the Eagles in possession as they've got it second down and 12. Barkley inside handoff. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
The Eagles on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4. They'll set up to throw. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And he is going to have an Eagles first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Here's 2nd and 3. He'll look to throw. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. And Goddard going to have an Eagles first down as he'll take this down inside the 45.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Complete. Smith has it. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Devontae Smith, 43 yards. And the Eagles are able to extend their lead.
Partner, remember that old film of Peyton Manning going through the route tree with his great receivers in Indianapolis? I think we're seeing the results of the same type of work here today. These guys know each other so well, they don't even have to call the play. They can just look each other and know the route that's going to be run, and usually the connection is perfect.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Titans now just about ready to take over. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Levis in trouble. Down he goes. Nolan Smith leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Pollard will take it up the gut. Oh, a solid stiff arm and some open field. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That good for 19 and a first down. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Back to throw, it's Levis. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be second down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Levis to throw off play action. This one downfield to Burks.
And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 21. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
They'll throw this out wide and complete it to Ridley. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be second down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Here's 2nd and 7. Levis looking to throw. Okakwo holds it in left side.
They'll wind up getting just a yard. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Levis sets up to throw here. Here's a screen now for Pollard.
And he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception, and that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
They'll run for it with Pollard. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the first down.
Levis out of the shotgun now. He finds his man, Pollard.
And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
And that's a great job of tackling right there. If he could have made the first man miss, maybe he could have taken it into the end zone. Instead, they stopped him pretty well right in his tracks, and you often see that in the red zone. Offense has to be quick. In this case, the defense was quicker.
And a short pickup there down to about the 9. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They are able to get 9 yards out of that, but now it's 4th down.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
The offense is going to stay out there. We'll see what the play call is. They need to find the right one here on 4th and goal. And he'll wind up being knocked back to the 3-yard line. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And this Eagle defense stands tall down near the goal line.
First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there.
From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. He's going deep for Brown.
And this is incomplete. Oh, he looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
And that is not what you expect from a receiver of his caliber. Sometimes you get a little ahead of yourself. You don't look it in, and all of a sudden it's on the ground. A surprise to all.
Look at this, a tight end carry. They'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. This offense so far on 3rd down, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. Up the middle with Barkley. And he'll be brought down shy of the 1st down marker at the 11. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line.
Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger. And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
They'll send the tight end in motion left.
Levis back to throw. It's complete. Burks.
And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 30. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
Throwing, completing, quick to Calvin Ridley.
And down inside the 15 he goes. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
Here's Levis.
And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the 1st half. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Levis to throw it.
He's got it. Now Tennessee going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal?
Pollard will take this into the end zone for a Titans touchdown.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And the lead down to 3 at 13-10.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Eagles offense going to take over late in this first half. And they may just be content to take this 3-point lead and head into the locker room. The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Hurts sets up to throw it. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It's Jeffrey Simmons that time who got in to record the sack. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Eagles ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime. And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Now 2nd and 3. A handoff to Barkley on the option. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the second half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
A short throw taken in by Okonkwo.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big pickup of 38.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
2nd and 7. Gonna run again here with Pollard. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Now Levis. And it's a Titans touchdown. Calvin Ridley from 21 yards away. And the Titans have taken the lead here in this 3rd quarter. So a very strong first drive in this second half, Charles, as they've turned that halftime deficit into a 3rd quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But, boy, they executed awfully well moving the ball down the field.
Extra point by Sly is up and good, and that will make this a 4-point game. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. Sebastian Joseph Day showing his strength and quickness there, a loss of 4. He found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion, one more good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Hurts. Pushes him over. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. .37 yards on the punt with no return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Out come the Titans now. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
They run straight ahead here with Pollard. Now inside the 25. And did he get in? No, down at the 1-yard line. 88 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. He had been held in check. Now he breaks that big run. Shows the explosiveness we all knew was there.
All right, tell the truth now. You knew it was just a matter of time, didn't you?
Time.
We've seen this so many times from him. Hold him down, and then breaks out.
They'll run with Pollard. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Tony Pollard with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Titans are able to add on to that lead.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10
at their own 26.
Dotson in motion right. They'll get it forward to him on the touch pass. And that is not fooling anyone. He never had a chance to turn the corner there, and they'll go backwards right away. Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
He's got Smith here.
And he is going to have an Eagles 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Oh, and Hurts is going to be hit and taken down to the ground. More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack.
Like the footwork back there, I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss.
From the gun, it's Hurts.
This short throw caught by Goddard. So the completion good for 7 there. And 3rd and 8 now.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he'll get this underneath, dropping it off for Barkley.
And he gets this only to the 41, not near enough for the 1st. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away.
Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
Man, confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
A short throw taken in by Okonkwo.
So the completion good for just 3. And it's 2nd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Levis now off of play action. Over the middle into the hands of Burks.
And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode. Really try.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Zach Bond gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
Levis. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw here. And that will be incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here's Johnny Hacker now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2.
And it was a takeover.
The Eagles coming out as they get ready.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest. And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go.
They'll give it to Barkley off the option play.
Brings it just past the 15, able to avoid the initial contact, but not much more there on the play. Give him 6 on the run. It'll be 3rd down now with still a long way to go to get to the first down marker.
Here's Hurts to throw.
And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
The Eagles send out their punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. With it is Jackson. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be Titan football.
Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively.
This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you can tempt to play the field position game.
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Titans. They've got the football. They'll be looking to extend their lead here as we begin the 4th quarter. Now a give here to Pollard. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line.
96 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards.
And that's on the guard, Kevin Zeitler.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. It'll be a handoff to Pollard. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line.
The Eagles just about set to go to work on offense. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Throwing is Hurts.
He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? A first down carry for Barkley. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And this will be caught by Brown. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
And this offense on 3rd down today, just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll set up to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. This short throw caught by Goddard. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Looking to throw again on second down.
Hurts throwing for Smith on the out route, and it's caught. And Devontae going to pick up the Eagles' first down as he'll get this down to the 32.
Here's a give to Barkley. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
From the 29, Hurts. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 18. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a one-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Jalen Hurts.
An 18-yard touchdown run.
And the Eagles have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth.
If you're going to play quarterback in the NFL, you've got to have great vision, and you've got to remain calm when things break down in the pocket. Both of those traits were on display there. He surveys the situation, sees the middle of the field open, so he's just going to step up and take it himself. Very well done there.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field.
Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. Off the play fake, Levis.
And that is caught. It's Ridley. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one goes for 24 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Late in the game, he's certainly doing everything in his power to buy time for his guys to make a play, but in this case, he's surrounded, and all he has room to do is to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run. Here's Pollard.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. That's a third down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
Out of the gun, a give to Pollard. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
So with your team leading in the fourth quarter, you know you've got to run the football. They know you've got to run the football. Sometimes that means there's nowhere to run the football.
Levis looking to throw. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming third down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of the momentum the other side is starting to gain.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is third and long. Back to throw, it's Levis. And that is incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to swell the lead to 6. Sly able to put this one through, and that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now, because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. After the made field goal, here's Sly to kick this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now, but let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. That'll give them 8 that time, and they'll be left with second and a couple. Now, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. That continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a first.
If they get a game-changing score on this drive, it's going to be because of plays like that. That run was pure heart. Took it himself, found a way to reset the downs, and advance the ball.
Back to throw now on first down. Escaping the pressure right. And he's got a first down as he's going to be taken down. But a very nice pickup there just in front of the 2-minute warning. They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's taken down inside the 30. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again, Turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here.
They'll look to throw.
And that one to the right side and incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Back to throw. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
And now a tough spot here. This is 3rd and 10.
He's back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Draymond Jones in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And as a result, it'll be Titan football on the turnover on downs.
We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down.
Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. And the Titans getting set to go. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's 1 timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. The Titans go victory formation as they take a knee. Here's Johnny Hecker now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
He'll look to throw.
And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
Probably time for 2 more shots, and ideally, they'd like to get to midfield or so they have a chance at a Hail Mary on the final play.
They'll come up now on 2nd down.
Back to throw. incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Hurts sets up to throw it. A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over.
So no shortage of offense in this game, but a very clean game too, Charles. Each side got its points, but they did so without committing a single turnover.
That's so true, and it certainly felt like NFL football at its finest, right? You talk about the highest level from both of these offenses. Neither one of them afraid of taking risks, and both of them aggressively pushing it downfield. I did like, Brandon, how smart they were about going about their business, though. They were high flying, but they took care of the ball.
Yeah, they did. And just keeping it clean in a game like this with all these points, you don't see that very often, even at the highest level. Job well done by both sides.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.